Hello everyone and welcome back to Film is Life, your number one source for entertainment, film, news, reviews, and more. I'm your host, Simone.
And I'm Lilton.
And today we're doing a segment of our movie reviews. We are reviewing Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, starring Tina Fey, Margot Robbie, Martin Freeman, and Alfred Molina. The film is about Tina Fey's character. She's a journalist and she goes to a war zone that's in Pakistan and also Afghanistan, and she reports on that. What are your first initial thoughts of it?
First initial thoughts of this movie is I really liked it. I love the dialogue in this movie. I love the characters, the character development. I was pulled in from the very beginning. This movie was way funnier than I thought it was going to be. I didn't realize how much I was actually going to be laughing. It moved along very well for me in the sense of getting to know everybody and putting all the characters in play and everything. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I would agree. I liked it a whole lot as well. I was not expecting for it to be as good as it was. The trailers that I saw before kind of had me like, I'm not sure I really want to see this movie. But after I saw it, I was like, it's very, very interesting. I was also pulled in. I was surprised at, how good Tina Fey was, not in a comedic role. Yeah, it was definitely a good one for me.
Tina Fey, she's great. For the most part, like everything that she's in, even back when she was Saturday Night Live and everything, I thought she brought a lot to the show. And then she also shows a lot of range. You got Martin Freeman, he's in here, and he kills it in everything he does. It's hard to recognize him in anything other than The Hobbit, but it's cool to see him as just this cool guy who's a reporter and everything, or journalist for that matter. I didn't even realize who Alfred Molina was for half of the movie. It was like, that's him! I was like, this guy is hiding in the role. This guy is really disappeared into this character. And even though he wasn't on camera much, I loved every time he came on camera. He had a presence.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. There is one more person who I didn't mention originally. His name is Christopher Abbott. He played Fahim in it. He was also very, very good. Like, I believed him. I believed that he was there, that he was from there.
Yeah, it was kind of scary in certain parts. And not scary like, oh my gosh, this is horrifying and horror movie scary, but real life scary. You really didn't want these people to go out. You wanted them to stay in their bunkers. You wanted them to party and have fun and just do that. When they left and got in those Humvees and went out there, you did not want them out there. You wanted them to stay low, don't do no talking, everybody be quiet, hush, hush. They portrayed the aspect of real war well from a journalist's point of view, because it's not something that we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of war movies, but not from the aspect of, hey, this is a journalist trying to get a story in order to, take care of themselves and keep getting paid. They have to get the nitty gritty. They have to put themselves out here. It gave me a newfound respect for journalism overall.
What are your negative thoughts on it, or?
My negative thoughts about Whiskey Tango Foxtrot is that it felt a little bit long. There's a lot of scenes that I felt like kind of either lingered too long, or they spent too much time on situations that didn't really affect how the story moved along. The guy that you brought up, what was his name again?
Christopher Abbott.
Christopher Abbott. I loved his story arc. The fact that he comes in, he's just this guy that's there to help and aid her, and then he comes up and I'm not to spoil anything, but there wasn't enough time with him and Tina Fey's character. I think that it should have been more so focused on them two and what they had going on, with the aspect of Martin Freeman and Margot Robbie as well. But, outside of that, I'm nitpicking here. Even up towards the end, when I was really tired and I was ready to go, it still had me laughing. So that says a lot about it. As far as that negative standpoint goes, I just feel like it was just going a little bit too long. They could have wrapped it up a little bit quicker, knocked off 20, 30 minutes, and it would have been fine.
I completely agree with that. When we came out of seeing it, I just assumed that we were in there for like 2.5 hours long. It definitely was not as long as I thought it was, but it seemed very long. Now, as he stated, it was good, it was interesting, but it was just long. It made you feel like that you were in the theater way longer than you actually were. And we had conversations about what they could have cut down on, what they could have reduced to make the time shorter. And then we had ideas of the reason of why they kind of kept it the way that they did. But overall, that's kind of my biggest gripe with it.
Screen time for other characters, mainly. Margot Robbie isn't in there as nearly as much as she probably should have been. Christopher Abbott as well, not as nearly as much as he should have been. There was a lot of C and D list characters that got way more screen time than them. There's a camera guy who says maybe 10 lines in the whole movie, he got more screen time than Margot Robbie and Christopher Abbott together.
With that being said, how would you rate the film?
3 out of 5. Like I said, it was a very good movie. Had a lot of good jokes in it. It was very real. I really enjoyed it. It being a little bit too long kind of made me wish it was over quickly. This would have been a 4 had it been dropped down a bit for me personally. But yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.
I personally am going to give it a 4 out of 5 because my expectations for the film were lower than, what they actually were. The movie was way better than what I thought that it was going to be. It has some great acting, great cinematography. It was very realistic. As he said, they had some great funny moments and fun moments in the film. My biggest gripe with it was minimal screen time for other characters who I felt should have been more prevalent in the film. But other than that, overall, I thought it was a pretty good one.
Sweet. I mean, I can't argue with it. So there you go, folks. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Have you seen it? Do you plan on seeing it? If so, comment below. Let us know what you think. We want to talk to you about it. We want to network with you and see what's going on and see what you feel about the film. What are other war movies that you like, or are there any journalism ones that we maybe don't know about that you do? Talk to us about it.
Absolutely. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And until next time, this is Film is Life. I'm your host, Simone.
And I'm Lilton, and that's a 3, 2, 1 wrap.